Hey, 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 what you say? How you guys doing out there? This is Jaquel Wimbush, your host of Back to the Basics of Health and Wellness Podcast. On today's podcast, I am going to have Miss Celeste Bennett on. She is from Gifted Hands Homestead and part owner of Dip Shack Gourmet Dips and Mixes. Let's get into it. Growing your own food is like printing your own money. Ron Finley.
Daddy, it's time to start your podcast.
Hey Celeste, how you doing out there? How's everything going on during this coronavirus out in North Carolina?
Well, everything is going well. They're trying to open up the city again. So we're doing good.
Good to hear. Good to hear. Good to hear. So let's jump right into it.
Yes.
Dip Shack. Oh man, it's very flavorful. Very flavorful.
Yes.
I definitely put it in. I don't really do the meat thing. I do a lot of veggies, and I've been incorporating that in a lot of my veggies, and it has been tasting wonderful. Let's talk about how you got into Dip Shack.
Well, my husband and I, we were actually before this COVID-19 thing hit. We were just looking at ways to diversify, kids getting older, some things that we would have fun doing. And we were looking at actually two business ventures. And when the COVID-19 hit, one kind of went to the wayside and this one picked up, but it kind of piggybacked off of I love to garden and to raise our food source.
Okay.
And I was looking for ways to go into like our local farmers market with some of my produce and to kind of have a value added item. So it went from me researching different ways to have those value added items added to the produce to me saying, well, this may be an avenue of starting something different, aside from me getting fresh produce into the farmer's market.
Okay.
And that shack came about.
Okay, nice. And tell people, how can they find you?
You can find me on Facebook, dipshack.net. It'll bring you right to the Facebook page. Our website is under construction, but that should be up very quickly. And they can locate everything that we offer as it pertains to the meat rubs, vegetable dips, oil dips, desserts, and you can text me, you can send me an instant message, you can actually call me to place your order, and basically once the website is up and running, you can place your order that way, but until then, you could go through my Facebook page.
Beautiful. And how did you, how did you get into, something that a lot of people need to really start investigating is, and trying to figure out and do themselves, is start gardening. What made you get into gardening?
Well, I moved here to North Carolina, maybe going on 9 years ago. And I am a city girl, a Jersey girl at heart. So when I moved here and I started kind of, putting things down into the ground and growing, it was just for fun. I started with a tomato plant and a cucumber plant, and it kind of took off from there. I mean, I've always looked at different ways to look and try to eat better and do better as far as my health is concerned. But it seems like as the years went on, and me looking at the food source and trying to figure out what's really going on, I got deeper into it. I started to educate myself on the way food is produced in America, and how a certain era of fast food and taking food and putting it on the shelves really fast, and a lot of the ingredients that go into things that we're eating, it just has like this negative effect on our bodies.
Yes.
It's building up inflammation. It's just wreaking havoc on our system. So I just started reading, and the things that I started to come across that was really good for us, like fermented food, ghee butter, the better quality of meat, I realized real quick that I could not afford to feed my family of four at some of those higher end stores that had the superior product.
Yes.
So what I said to myself is, you shouldn't have to break the bank in order to eat healthy, and it shouldn't be only for a group of people that can afford it. And I said, if I can't afford it, then if you give me a speck of dirt, a little small post stamp of land, I'm going to make it work. And it went from that one tomato plant, that one cucumber plant, to now I can grow just pretty much everything there is in just such a small amount of space. And the more I learned, the more I wanted to teach people. And the more I read about the things that we should be putting into our body, it's just like, it just became very amazing to me that we kind of disassociate ourselves from the products that end up on the shelves because it's just very convenient. But that convenience has a price in the end. Either you're going to pay it in your doctor bills, because your body has given out from all of the toxic things that you have put into it, or you're going to pay it up front with making the sacrifice where you're going to move from the manicured lawn in the community of a HOA, a homeowners association, and maybe back to the countryside, or, somewhere where you're on the split of living in the urban and the country. And be able to do those things on your land. It's a sacrifice, but I'd rather put it in now than to have to pay the price later.
Absolutely. And that's what I'm telling people right now. Like, a lot of people out here are just spending a lot of money on frivolous things because they're bored, and they're hitting up Amazon and making Amazon all of this money. And I'm letting them know, I'm like, you guys are buying future garbage. Invest in your health. Invest in your family's health.
Invest in your health.
And it's just... I guess, a lost science, a lost art, and that we need to regain and start doing, because those are the things that's going to keep us healthy and keep us thriving in our later years. And we need to have people like yourself, teaching the people how to get into it and put their hands right back in that dirt and that soil.
Yes. And it's so, to me, I don't need to go talk to somebody and sit on their couch. I just go to the garden because it's peaceful. And when you put the spiritual connection to that, it's like God gifted us this land. He gave it to us and told us it's free. It doesn't cost you anything. Go and make it work. And it's almost like we ignore it, but we expect it to give back to us tenfold. And it just doesn't happen that way. I look the citrus people and companies and farmers out in Florida. Well, very soon we will not have oranges because there's a virus that's killing all orange trees that have been standing for years and years.
Talk about it.
When you look at our honeybees, a lot of people don't realize that if we don't have honeybees, we don't have food.
We don't have a future.
So you have to start looking at those things and try to figure out, how can I do my part? And my part is, I realize that the fruit and the vegetables are being plucked early because they have to make a way. It's almost like they have to make this travel trip to their final destination. So for me to get that on the shelf, I have to pick it from the tree, from the vine, before it's even ready. So the sun has not had a chance to do its part. So when I eat it, I'm not getting the benefits of that tomato. I'm not getting the benefits of that piece of fruit because it was picked before it was ready to be picked, only so that there's no blemish. There's no frost spots on it by the time it makes it to the shelf in the grocery store. And because of that, especially people of color, your vitamin D levels are horrible. You're having all these adverse effects of the inflammation that's in your body. And like I tell people, I'm not trying to tell you to take something off your plate that you have grown up eating all your life and there's a cultural connection to it. I'm just simply saying, balance it. What can you balance that with? Well, you can start with probiotic type food. Every night you sit down and you eat, put a little sauerkraut. You can make your own sauerkraut because that's going to help with that inflammation. That's going to help balance out all those radicals that are moving around in your body that eventually is going to kind of stack up and start causing you some problems.
Yep. And that's why I'm doing the 7-day cleanse right now, so people could start
Mm-hmm.
cleaning out the gut before they start introducing these things back into the gut. Because I was talking to some naturopathic doctors, and they was talking about how we're just throwing vitamin D capsules on top of junk, and it's not going to
Mm-hmm.
work. And you have to clean your body out for these supplements and this nutritive stuff to actually work for you. And start the healing
Mm-hmm.
process. So we have to clean the body out. We have to get the gut right. We have to eat the sauerkrauts, get the fermented foods back into the body, and stop being scared, people. Stop being scared out there to
Yeah.
to get in the dirt.
Yes.
Yeah, that's your free counseling session with nature. When you put your hands in the
Yeah.
dirt, that's helping you. That's
Put your hands
helping.
in the dirt. Take your
Yeah,
feet off. Take your socks off and just put your foot on the dirt.
it'll bring.
It's something. Yes.
Yes, it'll bring the stress levels down. It'll bring the inflammation down.
Mm-hmm.
Talk about it.
Yep.
Yes. Yeah.
Yes. It does all of that thing. It connects you to. It connects us to what is the hub, the mother hub, and we just get so caught up with, well, I need to get my nails done. Well, guess what? I used to like getting my nails done, but I get happy when there's dirt up under them because I'm doing something that I enjoy.
Mm-hmm.
And then here's the flip side. I do understand that people have a life. I do understand that. I truly believe that you carve out time for what you want to carve out for.
Yes.
But just to go back to the fact that, you have single parents out there working 2 jobs, whatever the case may be. My take on that is find a local farmer that has the time to do it for you,
Mm-hmm.
because that's going to give you more bang for your buck. Now, a lot of people are used to running to, the big box stores because of the pricing. Well, the pricing is regulated by the government because they're getting a supplement. That's why they can offer you the butterball turkey for $1.99, because the government is supplementing them the rest of the money that those small farmers don't get.
Yes.
And I just employ everybody. You live in an apartment building where you have a very small balcony. Well, you find your local farmer and make a relationship with them,
Mm-hmm.
and and go from there.
Yeah.
People in these big box stores, they're fighting for certain items, and you don't have to do that with a farmer because they're ready and they want to serve you, and they have plenty of it.
Absolutely. And the farmers will allow your kids to come help them with the land, start to
Mm-hmm.
seed the land and pick the vegetables, and how that whole process is done.
Yes.
For families out there who live next to a farm or is a half an hour, 45 minutes away from the farm, go to that farm on Saturday morning and help out,
Mm-hmm.
and be a
Yep.
collective, be a part of the community, and because that's what
Mm-hmm.
we need these days. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Gifted Hands Homestead, is that a farm or?
Well, that is a name that was my goal is to move to being self-sustained,
Mm-hmm.
where I'm growing and raising what it is that my family and myself we're consuming.
Okay.
So my goal is to move where I am homesteading, going back to some of the traditional ways of how things were done. Since this COVID thing, you see a lot of victory gardens popping up. Well, if you research and you look at the information of how victory gardens came about, it was in a situation that they had going on, just like the COVID-19, where people were forced to grow their own food.
Mm-hmm.
And so it took on the name of a victory garden. Well, like I said, a lot of people are going back to that, but Gifted Hands Homestead, it means that I'm actually using 10 fingers, 2 hands that God gave me,
Mm-hmm.
in order to be able to take care of myself and my family when it comes to the food source. Even when it comes to herbs, being able to raise some bees, to put some mint and certain flowers into that's going to help with congestion,
Mm-hmm.
is all there for us. It comes down to, am I going to use what has been given to us? It's almost like your inheritance.
Yes.
Are you going to use it, or are you going to flaunder it? And so my goal is to move from where we're at to obtain more land And, I come from the thought of what I want for myself, I want for my brothers and sisters. And I'm not talking about by blood. So I learn and I try to turnkey it and give the information. And it has been, for the most part, well received by others. So I am, I have daughters that are in high school. Eventually they're going to go on to college and get their own families and move out. But that doesn't mean that I'm going to stop, because that has been one of my biggest inspirations, to make sure that I'm giving them and feeding them from the land what's really important for them to have robust immune systems.
Absolutely.
And good gut health. But I'm also doing it for a bigger purpose. And I know it has to be a bigger purpose because, like I said, I'm a city girl. So when my friends from Jersey start looking at me, the question is like, what happened to you? But I know that I'm doing it for a bigger purpose than bigger than what I can see and imagine right now. So like I said, I turnkey the information. I'm always encouraging others that I see that are out there doing it, because now they have the information. The blinders are off. I had some people that say I would never go back to factory type feedlots and certain things that are on the shelf in the produce section. But the thing is, money talks. And I'm a rebel to my heart also. You're not going to tell me I can't have it because I can't afford it. So I'm going to find a way that I can do it so that my family can have it because they need it.
Absolutely.
So, you have to have that mindset also.
Yeah, and for the folks out there that's listening, when you're eating straight from your garden, and the chemicals that you're putting in there, the herbicides, the pesticides, and that all of that stuff is good for your body, you're going to turn a lot of ailments around. You're going to even for kids who have ADHD and things like that. That's going to turn all of that around, because they're not getting all the processed. They're not getting the young stuff, the young picked fruit and young meat and things like that. So all of those things are going to help these kids thrive, help grown people thrive, help the elderly thrive through more years of living. And if we look at other countries, this is how they're thriving. They're eating straight from the land. They're not worrying about like you said, a big box store to give them and tell them how much they can have. You only can have 5 meats this week.
Right. Exactly.
You can do what you want to do. You know what I mean? When you have your own. So this is sustainability right here at its core. Yeah. So so thank you a lot, man. I appreciate that. Put out your information one more time for the people so they can know how to get dipping.
Yes. Well, you go to dipshack.net. You can find me on Facebook. That website will be up very soon, but that doesn't stop the product from moving from where I'm at to where you're at. And then you can check me out on Instagram if you want to follow my homestead journey, Gifted Hands on Instagram. And I document everything on there, because that platform is to highlight what it is that I am doing. And, I want to say one more thing before we close out. A lot of people of color that come from the South, where they've had farmers in their family, they are kind of turned off because it's a lot of hard work and it doesn't pay very well. But farming is very different now with the different methods that you can use. You don't have to have 100 acres. You don't even have to have a full acre to grow all your produce that you will need for that year, and then some to feed the people in the neighborhood.
Absolutely.
So you have to start researching and looking at permaculture. You have to start looking at different ways that people are taking small portions of land. They're injecting healthy organisms and all types of stuff in that land so that it can produce food for them and their families. So don't allow what you saw years and years ago, where, you may have had people in your family farming hundreds of acres. That's the old way. You don't need all of that in order to make a change. And if you grow just one vegetable, you have done something good for your family and for yourself.
Talk about
And I
it.
guarantee you're going to want to do more.
One thing, people, that's my going thing. One thing, just change one
Start with
thing.
one.
Start with
Yeah.
one thing. Don't get overwhelmed. Just start with one thing.
Yeah.
And you will see a difference, because it's gonna go from 1 to 2 to 3, and then next thing you know, you can be like, oh my God, I have a whole situation going on here, which is it's helping. So very good, very good. I appreciate that. Very beautiful things you're doing out there. Can they get your telephone number? Because I know some people probably want to contact you regarding how to start and things like that. So if you could put your number out there.
Yes, my number is 336-897-6315.
And I'll definitely put all of that information in the show notes, guys. And I would like to thank you guys for listening in to myself and Celeste Bennett of Dip Shack Recipes, and actually Gourmet Dip Shack with dips and mixes. I'm sorry.
That's okay.
Yes. So definitely check her out. Check out some of those dips. Very good stuff. Very good quality stuff, and you guys will definitely enjoy it. Thank you again. I enjoy this, and I will look forward to having you on again once the website is up, so we could talk more about Dip Shack and the other things that you have going on. So I definitely appreciate you.
Yeah, so I'm happy to be here, and I look forward to coming back. Thank you so much.
You're very, very welcome. I'll talk to you soon.
Yes, thank you. Bye-bye.
All right. Guys, I would like to thank you all for tuning in to today's episode of Back to the Basics of Health and Wellness with myself and Celeste Bennett of Dip Shack Gourmet Dips and Mixes. Until next week, enjoy, be well, and let's make a lifestyle change that lasts. Have a great one, everybody.